Dave Filoni came to my table and we talked about Ahsoka for like 15 minutes, and then he just sat and drew Ahsoka for me while we were talking. And I have this sketch from him, and we were in there, and George Lucas just walks through, and I'm like freaking out. Like, am I going to meet George Lucas today? And he had his crew, and he was around, and it was just like,
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sith Talk. Today we have on the show Danny Haas. How you doing, Danny?
good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really good. So, can you tell us a little bit about what you do and where we can find you at?
Yeah, I'm just an independent freelance artist. You can find me at artofdanny.com, Art of Danny on Instagram and socials. Yeah, that's about it. That's where you can find me.
Nice. So, everyone that comes on, we start off with 3 Star Wars questions to get warmed up. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, the first one is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Well, honestly, I'd love to be like cool and say Empire, but it really is episode 1. Episode 1, The
Nice.
Phantom Menace, it really is my favorite Star Wars movie, and it's really because it was like the time that I got into Star Wars. I didn't grow up with it. My parents weren't like cool parents who let their kids watch sci-fi and all that kind of junk. I had to play
Yeah.
sports and be outside all the time, which was fine, but I kind of missed that kind of growing up with Star Wars. So when episode 1 was coming out, it was just like everything to me. Going to see it in theaters, probably a billion times. I don't even know how many times I saw it. I do remember one summer after the VHS had come out, dating myself, having a VHS, but I watched it so much one summer that I wore the tape out on my VHS and it like
Wow.
broke like mid watching
Yeah.
the movie, and it just kind of stuck with me forever. It was my jumping point into Star Wars. It's just the one that I love the most. But yeah, I'm a prequel guy.
Nice. That's awesome. I love the Phantom Menace. My favorite's Revenge,
Yeah, Revenge
but
is great.
I've had a few people that Phantom was their favorite, and a lot of them it's because it's kind of what got them in, or it was their first time seeing it in theaters, so it has that special, like,
Yeah,
memory with them and stuff.
for sure.
Awesome. So, the next one is, what's your favorite Star Wars show?
Um, for shows, it would have to be Clone Wars. I'm a huge Clone Wars fan. Um, and I truly believe it's one of the best story arcs that they've done with Star Wars, especially like season 7. Season 7 really hit a high note for me, being a massive Ahsoka fan, and just kind of how they wrapped up the end of season 7 is really something special when it comes to um, Star Wars and ending kind of a massive thing like Clone Wars was.
Season 7 was so special. Those last 4 episodes was literally just Revenge of the Sith, but from the point of view of Rex, Maul, and Ahsoka, which I
Right.
loved. And I remember watching it from week to week, and then I think I was home and my brother was home, and we got to watch the 3rd episode together, and that's the one with Order 66, and then you heard Mace Windu's voice, and you heard Anakin's voice, and it was just like my mind blew because 'cause we're watching
Mhm.
animation, but I'm hearing the live action voices, and then it shows, like, how it was a masterpiece, man. It blew my mind, and, like, those 4 episodes are just unreal, man.
I completely agree. And when they started, because I mean, we all were kind of like, yeah, we're going to run into Order 66. We're going to kind of see how this kind of pans out. But for them to tie it so well into Revenge, like you said, with the quotes from the actors in the movies, and just the hearing all the like beats that happen that we've seen over and over again with watching Revenge,
Yeah.
to have that be in the background of something we're watching a new story of or a new perspective of, it really is brilliant.
Even the hologram when Mace was like, "I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi," or whatever they said,
Right.
but seeing it from the opposite
Oh,
side,
man.
that was just I love stuff like that, like in Tales of the Jedi, when they showed Dooku erasing the archives. Now
Mhm.
every time I watch Attack of the Clones and they talk about it, I'm like, "Yo, that was Dooku."
We've
Like,
seen it now, yeah.
yeah, when they tie stuff like that, it's so beautiful, and I love it when they do it, man. Oh,
Mhm.
so good.
Yeah.
So the last one is, who's your favorite Star Wars character?
I'm a Luke guy. I love Luke. Once I got into Star Wars, through the prequels, and then kind of going back and, you know, starting where it began and getting through New Hope and Empire and Jedi, the arc of Luke through the original trilogy, I just fell in love with the most. And I think of the original trilogy, Jedi is my favorite just because of how it ends.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan on sticking the landing, I think, when it comes to
Yeah,
like Clone Wars, and I feel like Luke's arc at the end with Vader and just how it kind of pans out. Just become my favorite. I love Luke. And yeah, that's really just it. And I really wish wish we got more Luke
I
between
know.
Jedi and uh,
Force
Force
Awakens.
Awakens live
Yeah.
action stuff, and maybe they will throw it in on Disney Plus at some point. But it's something I would love to see.
What was your reaction? Because I'm guessing you watched Mandalorian,
Hmm.
and what was your reaction in season 2, that finale, when we saw the boy Luke back on screen?
I mean, I got the chills. Really, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I love Mandalorian as a whole.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I don't know. I like it enough. But when when my boy flies in, when you see Red 5 and the elevator or the lift opens and he's there and he's just ripping through those dark troopers, it's magic. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really is magic. The score's welling up, and I don't know, man, it doesn't get much better than that.
That moment was so special, and it's rare when we get stuff like that, but I remember like it was yesterday, because I woke up at 3 a.m. to watch the episode, so it's like 3:50 a.m. And
Right.
the X-wing comes in. I'm like, "Who is that?" Like, at that point, I stood up, and the whole rest of the episode, I was standing up, staring at my TV, like, "Is that Luke? Is that Luke? Is that Luke?" And then you saw the glove, you saw the saber, and
Mm,
you knew it was Luke, but like, is it Luke? And then the
right.
reveal and like the music, like you said, swelling up, it was just, oh, it brought tears to my eye, man. I was just so happy, and like that's the Luke that we wanted, like more Luke. Like I wanted to see that in the sequels, like old man Luke just being a badass. Like that's what I wanted right after Return of
Mm,
the Jedi. But it's just awesome when they could deliver special moments like that, because that hit so many people from the younger generation to the older. Because like everybody knows Luke, and most people have some sort of love for Luke Skywalker. You
right.
know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now you saw Phantom Menace. Was that your first Star Wars movie? Like meaning you never saw the other three?
Yeah, correct. I had never seen the original trilogy, and my real, because I live in Orlando, so my knowledge of Star Wars kind of only existed inside the Disney parks. So Star Tour
Oh, okay. Yeah.
was like the only thing that I had actually like experienced of Star Wars would be that. And I mean, for what it was, I mean, it had enough of me to know that Star Wars existed, and I knew like the basic stuff, but I'd never sat
Okay.
down to watch the original trilogy. And so the hype around like episode one was like what really struck me. So yeah, I had
Yeah.
never seen anything leading up to episode one.
So when you got to Empire, did
Hmm.
you know about the Luke, I am your father, or was that like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
yeah, okay, okay.
that was enough in the like zeitgeist of
Yeah, okay,
pop
okay.
culture to know that kind of stuff, which was fine. But to see the reaction and stuff for the first time, see Luke's reaction
Yeah.
to him finding it out and doubting, and I mean, to watch Empire for the first time as a teenager, just that whole original trilogy is life changing.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100% for sure. So one of the first things I wanna get into is you doing art, being an artist. How long have you been doing that, and, like, what got you into art?
Yeah, I've been doing it since I left high school. I luckily enough in high school had some amazing teachers that I knew coming out. I wanted to just be an artist, do an art for life, and I went for maybe a semester in college and then just dropped out and went straight to work. I got a job in a local screen printer here in Orlando, um, and kind of never looked back. And maybe about 15 or maybe 15 or more years ago, I kind of went independent and started working on my own and doing my own art and putting my name out there, trying to
Yeah,
at least, and just posting online as much as I can. Um, and that's really kind of I've just been kind of doing it forever.
yeah,
Um, and I mean, getting into Star Wars art, I kind of did it for fun and posted online, and then out of the blue one day I got an email from Tops, and it
mm,
was like, do you want to do some sketch cards for an upcoming Masterworks set? Or I think it was Masterworks was the first one I'd worked on. And I'm like, well, hell yes. I wanted to work on Star Wars stuff. So I'm going to say yes, no matter what. So that's kind of was my foot in the door at that point. Was my first license stuff was definitely Tops. And I know a lot of artists had said previously on your shows that it was, but it really was. I mean, it really was a great jumping point and a great way to kind of get in to do license stuff.
yeah. So that's awesome, and that's what I was gonna ask you. How'd you get into it? I was wondering
Yeah.
if it was Tops as well, because for most of the you guys that I've spoke with, it's been Tops. A few, it's been other ways,
Hmm.
but it's just so interesting that Tops has brought so many of you guys into this game, and you guys are still here thriving, still working with Tops, now getting
Yeah.
into these art shows. What year was that when you first did your first sketches for Tops?
I think it was like 2015, I believe, because I think the following year was Celebration Europe
Yeah,
was,
2016. Yeah.
and so I didn't go to that, but I did some designs for some merchandise for that celebration.
Oh.
And what did I do? I did like a BB-8 with like a with the thumbs up and a
Uh huh.
little emoji heart and this like half and half Boba Fett helmet thing. I think I did a couple of those. And it wasn't until 2017 until I applied for the Orlando show,
Hmm.
which I had to because it was my hometown, and that's when I first got into Celebration.
So with Tops, that first set,
Yeah.
have you done more sketches like with them? Are you still currently with Tops?
I did. I did a few more sets of sketch cards after that, and then I someone that I was working with kind of changed jobs, and then I never heard back from Tops again. And
Oh,
so I think they'd only had like one email address, the one guy that emailed me, which was fine, because at that point I had started doing a lot more work with Acme
yeah.
and kind of had gone on a different path from Tops. I don't know much I can say, but like I've gotten back into them recently, and there's maybe some stuff in the future coming out.
Nice. Now,
Yeah.
I know, was 2024 Galaxy, because I have it right here. Was 2024 Galaxy, was that the first time that one of your prints art got into a set?
I want to say yes for a printed set. I think
Yeah.
so. They had been on the digital app a couple times.
Yeah, okay.
But I think, yeah, I think it's the first time Tops had printed out one of my cards, which is fantastic. And I think it was great that this time the artists got their name on the back of the card, which I feel like was rare in the
Yeah.
future. And I mean, in the past,
Yeah.
a lot of art was pulled from the galleries of Acme and stuff, and they didn't really credit the artists then. But now they've been giving credit to artists, which I think is great because then we'll push it more for them and we'll
Yeah.
want to collect it ourselves and sell it. That's what I
Yeah.
did. I went on eBay and just bought a bunch of my own cards and resold them.
So, what was your react like, how did you find out that your card was in this set, and what was your reaction when you found out that people had your art as a card?
Um, I think we were in a group in Discord, and one of the artists like dropped like a PDF of all the names of all the artists that are on the
Oh,
set. I think maybe Joe Hogan or someone had shared it with us.
yeah,
Um, and that's how I found out, and I was like super stoked because it's a piece that I really love. So I was really excited it was that one, and it's exciting to see your stuff being used other places. I remember an old Boba Fett piece that I did ended up in Target on a puzzle, and someone
what?
said to me, and I was like, I had no idea, but that's awesome because
Yeah,
eventually, after a few years, it just kind of goes into this pool of stuff that licensors can buy
yeah,
from. So it was really cool to kind of see it out there in the public
yeah.
outside of just the original print that I had done.
Nice. Man, you saved my life back in December. I don't know if you remember, but I hit you up because
Did I?
you had your cards autographed that you were selling on your site, and was struggling to find a marker that worked good on it because I was going to see Hayden
Oh,
at GalaxyCon,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
you told me the Sharpie Creative markers that just came out,
Right.
and that's what I use because, like, the chrome cards, they're like really like shiny. It's
Yeah,
hard,
yeah.
and that marker was perfect. So my Hayden
Nice.
Auto, yeah, I owe you for that. And people
That's
ask
really
me,
funny.
yeah, people ask me all the time, like, what marker do you use? And I tell everybody that for if it's a chrome card, use the Sharpie Creative because it comes out
It's nice.
perfect on there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, yeah, man. So now you said you got into celebration for 2017. So you
Mhm.
applied, and what was your reaction when you got that email saying that you got it? And that was your first time applying too,
Yeah.
right?
No, I applied for that first Europe one.
Oh,
I
okay,
really
okay.
didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have, like, the artist friend group that I have now that
Mhm.
we've kind of formed, throughout the years to kind of, like, bounce either ideas off of or, you know, I don't know. We just kind of had created this group where we can talk and we kind of share I mean, at the end of the day, it's like we're all fighting for the same spots, but
Yeah.
we've kind of, we all have such different styles that we don't really cross streams too much. So we talk, and so back then I didn't have that kind
Mm,
of friend group. So 2017 was a little different, but I was building this huge like Rebels print, a bunch of characters, and I had just like the small Ahsoka at the bottom. And at the time, I was so huge into a fan of Ahsoka, and there just wasn't in 2017 a lot of like Ahsoka merch or
yeah.
representation, at least at that time. So I was like, screw it. So I pulled this little Ahsoka, I made it my full print, and it was the only thing I submitted that year. And I was like, well, if I get in, I get in. If not, whatever. I'll try again next time. And I got in, and I honestly wanted to throw up. I was like, all
Hmm.
the emotions of,
Yeah.
being accepted to an art show, which I had been to celebrations in Orlando and I've seen artists in the art shows, and I'm like, God, one day I would love to just be in this spot. Um, and so to have that feeling of, being accepted in the art show it was insane. Like
Yeah.
it's just a great feeling because you work so hard, and then to finally get a bit of recognition feels great.
So 2017 Orlando was your first
Yeah.
time there in the art show. What was that experience like? And like, what were some of your favorite moments from being there and having a table?
Well, I mean, it really was life changing, honestly, and that's not even like hyperbole. Like, uh, I sat next to Brad, who I think you had in the last episode,
Yeah.
and seeing his amazing art, and just at the moments of like being among artists that you've seen for years and respected for years, and um, it's a weird like almost imposter syndrome, but I'm feel it's like it's really great to be there. um, but because I had done Ahsoka and I was the only one in the show with Ahsoka, and it was like the first real time Ahsoka was in the art show and kind of represented. I met Ashley Eckstein for the first time, and
Mm,
since then we've worked so much together, one on one, and at a bunch of projects, and we've become quite good friends. Just over the years, we've just done so much Ahsoka art together. It's been like that moment uh, in 2017 was amazing, and then also uh, Dave Filoni came to my table and we
oof.
talked about Ahsoka for like 15 minutes, and then I have it on the wall. I should have grabbed it, but he just sat and drew Ahsoka for me while we were talking. And I have this sketch
Wow.
from him, and it honestly, I at that point I was like, well, my career could end, and I'd be completely happy because I've reached. I don't even know how I can ever beat this.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was just that 17 was a amazing jumping point for me for Star Wars because it gave me the confidence that I kind of needed and the boost to be like, okay, I can do this.
Mhm.
People like what I'm doing, and I can push forward and move on. And that was my first time working with Acme, and then since then I've worked with Acme so much since, and I love them over there. So yeah, that was 2017 was very special to me.
So it was special to me too. So I live in Tampa, but I used to live in
Okay.
Orlando. So
Oh,
I was
nice.
yeah, I was living in Orlando 2017 and I didn't know what celebration was. And I was driving down I Drive and I saw the banners by the convention center and I'm like, what the heck is celebration? So me and my boy Ricky, we bought tickets for Thursday, Friday, and we went and had the time of our lives because
Mm,
celebration is such a unique experience because it's different than other cons, with it being all Star Wars. and we just fell in love, and we have not missed since then. So
Yeah.
right away, they announced Chicago like a week later. We 5-day pass, bought it right away. After that, Anaheim, we went 4-day pass. The next year, London, right away. And
Mm.
then while we're in London, they announced Japan, and we looked at each other like, I guess we're going to
Yeah.
Japan. So
I know, right?
yeah, now we're going to Japan, but like, yeah, that first one in Orlando, it just unlocked something new that I've never experienced. And it's like we just went to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday when we were both home, we both regretted not being there. We wanted to be there, we wanted to be
Mm.
back because it was just such a good time. And that's kind of how I started my YouTube channel, was covering Celebration, because there's a lot of people that don't know what it is, they've never been, they
Right.
don't know how it works. So when I went to Anaheim, that's when I first started my channel and
Nice.
kind of broke it down and explained it. And then for London, the same thing. You know, hey, how do you register for panels? How do you get art from the art show? How do you enter raffles? How do you do this? So
Yeah, it can be confusing
it is, it is. So
'cause it's
I've
not
been,
like any other convention. It's not like San Diego.
it's
It's not like
not,
New York. It's a whole different beast.
yeah, it's a different beast in itself, but it's
Yeah.
pretty simple if you know what you're doing. But if you don't, it's super overwhelming. So that's how I started my channel. But I just love Celebration, man. Now 2017 wasn't your first. So did you go, what, Orlando was what, 2011, 2012, or 2010,
I
2012?
went to Celebration 5 and 6,
Which were
right?
both Orlando. That
Yeah, I
was,
went to the back-to-back Orlandos, and then I didn't travel out of Orlando to go it again, so I didn't do Celebration again until I was back in Orlando for 17.
what was it like at your very first celebration? That 2010, I think it was, in Orlando.
Um, so that's when I first realized that there was an art show. What was it?
Mm.
Yeah, I'd met Katie Cook for the first time, and that's when I was like, "Man, I have to do this." And it was to a point where Star Wars. I mean, obviously Star Wars is huge, but we got in early on the show floor because my mother-in-law worked for Disney at the time, and so Disney had a presence,
Mhm.
and so I walked in early with her in the show floor,
Nice.
and we were in there, and George Lucas just walks through, and I'm like freaking out, like, am I going to meet George Lucas today? And he had his crew, and he was around, and it was
What?
just like, it was weird to just kind of it's like be in his presence, like
Yeah.
be in the presence of George Lucas. That was the first time I had like seen him in person, and it was magic. I mean, that really was the jumping point for me, is to what kind of like, this is, I really want to be a part of Star Wars like this. um and I forget if that was the year that they were shutting down Star Tours. Maybe it was the year after,
Mhm.
um, the last tour to indoor stuff. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it was. I mean,
Wow.
it was great. Celebration 5 was unreal.
I couldn't imagine seeing just George just right there,
Just
like,
meandering on the show floor. Yeah,
yeah.
it
So
was crazy.
you didn't get to, like, say hi or talk to him?
No,
It
and I
just,
wouldn't have. I would have been too chicken.
I think I would probably be the same, because like, or if I ever ran into him, like, say
Yeah,
I'm at Publix and George is getting a pub sub, I might just be like, "Thank you." Like,
right,
something simple, like,
right.
Thank you. I don't wanna bother the man." Like, just
Yeah,
George, just thank you. Like, something simple, because like, yeah, man, what he created, it just means so much.
right.
That's
Exactly.
crazy. So, you did the 3 in Orlando.
Yeah,
You've done more celebrations since Orlando, right?
yeah. I think this is my fifth art show.
Okay.
I did Orlando, then I did Chicago, then I did Anaheim, and then I think was the COVID year, where it was like the at home celebration.
2020, in between Chicago and Anaheim in person, was the COVID, yeah.
Okay, then the Anaheim, and then I didn't do London, but I didn't apply for London because I wasn't in a place to be able to travel like that.
Mhm.
And then now Tokyo. Yeah, so this would be my fifth.
Nice. So, for this one, your print,
Yeah.
what is it called?
What did I call it? I don't even remember now.
I'm looking on your page, you don't have it in the description,
I don't even
but
have the description.
no, not on
Hold on.
Instagram, not on Instagram.
Well, let me be honest. I hate naming art prints.
Yeah.
I don't have Heroes Broken, Destiny's Changed. That's what I called it. I think it may have been the title of one of the
One
episodes
of the
that
episodes?
season. Yeah. I'm just bad at naming things. I just wanna do
Yeah.
art. I don't wanna name things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think that is one of the titles that I felt like fit the piece the best.
So when I saw this, my jaw dropped because I love Clone Wars. I'm a big Maul guy, so seeing
Same.
Maul, but seeing Savage, because not a
Yeah,
lot of people do Savage, and I
yeah.
appreciated that so much, seeing Savage and then the little Palps lurking, because he's always
Mhm.
lurking in the
He's
background.
always lurking, yeah.
Yeah, but what was your inspiration for this, and did you submit just 1 print or did you submit 2?
I just submitted one, and I got
Oh,
this one as far as I could take it, outside of like being completely finished. I wanted to really focus on one design for Tokyo. Um, that just kind of I didn't want to split my time into two things because it's such a grind to get the concepts in and then submissions in, and so I
mhm,
really didn't want to be split on two pieces.
okay.
And because of how much Ahsoka art I've done over the years, I almost feel like it's expected a little bit at some point that I do an Ahsoka piece. So what I wanted to do was have Ahsoka a part of an ensemble, and season 5 is um, such a big turning point in Clone Wars where she's walking away. We have the Savage stuff. The Mandalore battles, and it's a huge season and a big turning point in the lore of what we have of Clone Wars. So I wanted to kind of represent just some moments in that season with Savage, with Maul, with Ahsoka, because I think I rarely do her green lightsabers anyway. So it's like
Yeah,
it's just something new for me at least because I feel like I'm running out of ideas for Ahsoka at this point.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't want to just be solely about her, and I've done that in the past couple pieces. I think where she's been a little bit not the focal point, but she's such a pivotal point anyway. That's hard to not have her. But yeah, that was my kind of inspiration, and I only did one. Usually, I'll try and submit two, and I think when I've submitted two in the past, they've just been like, "You're in, just pick one." And so
mm.
this time, I really just wanted, really to hone in on one piece.
Nice. So when you got that email saying you got in, how did it feel? What was your reaction?
Uh, I was very excited to get in, but also it's like, oh, I have to go to Tokyo now. Like planning a Tokyo trip is like another beast because selfishly, I would love it back in Orlando, but I've
Yeah.
never been to Tokyo, and being a massive A Star Wars fan, B huge studio Ghibli fan and
Mm.
Disney fan, getting over there, it's like a dream of mine. I won't be doing much Ghibli stuff, but I have my days planned at the Disney parks, and uh, I'm very excited to get there. So I was super stoked to get the email to go.
And this is your first time going to Japan?
Yeah, yeah. First time in Japan.
Nice.
I think yeah, first time in the Asian countries too. I haven't been that far east. Yeah, this is my first time.
Yeah, no, me too, same. Selfishly, in London, I was expecting Orlando because it's
Yeah.
like it's its turn. It was
Right?
Anaheim, Orlando. We just went to Anaheim. It's our turn to come back. And then it was Japan, and I was just so confused. But I'm hoping 2027 is 50 years of Star Wars anniversary, 50 years of New Hope. It's like it hasn't been in Orlando for 10 years at that point. It
Yeah.
needs to be back in Orlando for 2027. You could celebrate 50 years of Star Wars at Celebration, at the parks right there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So I swear, it better not go back to freaking Anaheim because Disney. I'm so sick of Disneyland because, like, I don't even have my annual pass anymore over here because we never get nothing. Those guys get Luke, Chopper,
I
Boba
I
every
was just
day.
complaining about that on I do another podcast called The Yeti is Broken. We talk theme parks. And when I caught the video Season of the Force, the projection on the spires and they
Yeah,
got Luke, I was like, why is it not over here? It's bring it to Orlando,
yeah.
please.
Even the popcorn buckets. I had to get the Jabba. I had to get that
Even the
Jabba
popcorn
bucket
buckets.
imported over here because it wasn't here at the time. So
Yeah.
they're just so spoiled over there. They're like the spoiled younger child. But I don't understand it. They don't want money. They lost my money for annual pass because we get nothing. But like, come on, man. And
Mm.
it needs to come back to Orlando 2027. I want to be able to drive there and not have $1,000 flight to London or Japan. I want to be able to drive back to the O and just be,
Mm,
convenience.
yeah.
So we'll see,
I feel
man.
the same way, but that's just
Yeah,
me being selfish.
me too. Exactly. Yeah, me too.
I think it'd be kinda cool if they did it maybe Northern California, kind of around where Lucasfilm is and the areas where it was filmed, and
Oh,
maybe like a San Francisco show or something. I don't know, that I feel like that would
that
be neat for a 50th anniversary.
yeah, because I've never been to San Fran, so
Yeah.
that would knock out a lot of, like,
Yeah.
bucket list things, like the freaking Redwood Forest,
Right, yeah.
Endor, Planet of the Apes, Lucasfilm, seeing
Right.
that Yoda statue fountain. Oh, I'm dying to
Can
see
you
that.
imagine? Maybe they don't want it there because the amount of people taking
Oh,
selfies at that Yoda
yeah.
fountain, it
It'd
might
be
be unbearable.
it'd be really bad. It'd be
Might
really
need, like,
bad.
a fast pass for it, a queue.
I know, right? So, Japan, you got in,
Yeah.
and you're going, so your print, it's sold out pretty quick, man.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for people who've supported me over the years. I don't want to ever assume that a piece will sell, and
Mhm.
I haven't sold out every con. I I did episode 1 for the anniversary for Chicago, and I'm
Yeah.
still sitting on like 300, not 300, but I still
Oh,
got
wow.
a whole stack of them. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very grateful that it sells out. And it's just it feels good. It's really nice.
Yeah. Now, are you gonna bring any other prints to have at your table, like, for sale?
I'm not because I don't really I don't really have anything to bring, honestly.
You got that Phantom Menace print.
I do have well, technically I was supposed to destroy it. Don't tell Lucasfilm.
Oh.
But I don't like destroying my art. I just give it away whenever someone like I'll just throw it in like someone's order.
Oh,
Here's a free
that's
print, take it.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just give them away whenever I can and donate them to whatever some giveaways or stuff. But
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I'll be bringing anything extra. Maybe some tops cards. I have some blank tops cards I could do some sketches on. They really only want us kind of drawing
Oh.
in person.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of weird rules that I actually never understand the meaning behind it,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I might do some in-person stuff. I did make some stickers to give away that I worked on. I actually worked on it with Ashley, but she didn't make them in time, so I'm going to have them for myself.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so you might do sketches at your table,
yeah, don't hold me to that, but maybe.
because a lot of people that watch these videos are big
No,
like,
no.
they're gonna go right away, "Hey, Tony said you're doing top sketches. Be careful with that, because
I might just bring I might bring some pre-done ones and just be like, "Here, this is what I got under the table."
ooh, yeah, because I know Tracy kinda did the same thing, and she said the same thing, that there's like, a lot of rules,
Yeah,
and the only reason that you guys are allowed to do it is because it's at Celebration, in person,
yeah,
kinda thing. So,
which
I
is
s
fine.
yeah, so I saw Tracy, like, was doing it. I'm getting one from her.
Nice.
Candace has some she's bringing. I already locked one in, so I
Hell
definitely
yes.
gonna swing by yours,
Okay.
'cause I am a sucker for a good sketch, man. I am a sucker. So, yeah, man, I'll see what you have for sure, and then I already know my buddy Battle Packs, Ricky, Victoria, that are all gonna watch this. They're gonna know to go right to your table. "Hey, you have sketches in the back? Can we see your sketches?" So be prepared, man. Be
Okay, okay.
prepared.
I'll be prepared.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Alright, so, besides Celebration, like, what else are you gonna do in Japan? You gonna go to Disney? Anything else you got planned?
Yeah, 2 we're going to the Disneyland and Disney Sea on 2 different days. I
Nice.
gotta jump on that bullet train. We're gonna head down to Mount Fuji for a day, kind
Nice.
of explore that area a bit.
Yeah.
If my wife and kids aren't coming, I'm
Mhm.
going with, my brother-in-law and a couple buddies. If my wife was coming, then I'd be definitely doing, like, the Ghibli stuff, but she told me since she's not gonna be able to come, that I'm not allowed to do that without her. So that means that just
Oh!
means I get to go
Go
back,
back. Okay, 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 okay.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, you can't go to the Ghibli museum without me. You can't go to the Ghibli theme park without me," because she loves
Yeah.
it as much, if not more than me, so,
Mhm.
she would she'd probably fly to Tokyo to choke the life out of me if I sent her a picture at the Ghibli museum.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just kind of hanging out, and honestly, just looking forward to eating just the amount of food I'm gonna eat is gonna be ridiculous. Just
Yeah.
you're gonna find me face down in a bowl of ramen somewhere.
How long are you going out there for?
Just a week. I
Oh,
get in
okay,
there the
okay.
Thursday before celebration, and I'm taking off the Thursday after.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay.
No, not bad.
Yeah, I'm
A good enough time by myself without the family, I
yeah.
guess.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm so we're recording right now on Monday, the week before. I'm flying out Thursday morning. So the it's like time travel. It's so trippy to
I know,
think.
dude.
So I fly out of Tampa at 7 a.m. Thursday. I land in Tokyo Friday at 3:20 in the afternoon. It's I don't know how my body or my mind is going to think or feel when I land. So I don't know what to expect, but at least getting there at 3:20 I could just force myself to stay up till 10 or 11 and then knock out.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's crazy, but
that's really funny.
I'm doing 11 days, so
Nice. That's a great amount of
Friday
time.
to the Monday right after, because I know come the last day of celebration, I'm gonna have no money left. So I that's why I planned it that way. It's like I know celebration is gonna destroy
Yeah.
me financially because I,
Mhm.
I make a lot of bad decisions, especially at
Yeah.
celebration, especially when it's stuff that you could only get there, like all
Yeah,
these
I know.
prints, sketches, hot. So I retired from collecting hot toys, but of course they
Oh,
have like
lord.
3 or 4 amazing exclusives that are only there. So like I might end up picking up a couple of those, and I don't know how I'm gonna get those giant boxes back home, so it's gonna be a challenge, but it's gonna be so much fun. I
I know,
just
dude.
I can't wait, man.
I've actually done maybe, I mean, honestly, probably 20, 15 to 20 different designs for the celebration store, for merch and
Oh,
um other items. So I've done that for the last few. I mean, since the celebration before I even got started, I do a lot of the
wow.
merch design. Um, I mean, yeah, it's something you can expect. You'll notice. You're like, oh, that's something Danny did. There's a few
Yeah,
pieces that I've been asked, like, hey, can you just sketch this for us? And it's
yeah.
just like sketch art, but yeah, I've done a couple they've showed recently. The stormtrooper that kind of has like a samurai helmet on the yellow shirt.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I did
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. I did 3
Nice.
like that. 2 more you'll see come out. I don't wanna
Okay.
say what they are just yet.
Yeah.
Actually, when's this episode release? Oh, maybe they will have.
So this episode is gonna drop literally right now. We're gonna be at celebration.
Oh,
It's
beautiful.
Friday, and we are in Japan
Oh,
right
hell yes.
now.
Okay, so I
Yeah, so
did,
we're probably talking to each other in person right now.
I'll tell you exactly what I did then. So I did, so there's a Boba, there's a Vader, and a Stormtrooper just like that. Different samurai
Ooh,
helmets.
Boba and the
I
Vader.
Mhm. They're pretty fun. And then I did this big Rogue One piece,
Uh-huh.
uh, and then a huge Bad Batch shirt. Um, and then there's this really cool kind of Japanese bubblegum style Revenge of the Sith piece where Obi-Wan and Anakin are kind of fighting. It's got some like comic bubbles where it's got a quote. Um,
Oh.
and then all of the stuff that Enemy Inc. is going to be live printing. So I don't know if they're going to be in the celebrations show or outside of it, but there's at least 9 different prints that you can pick your shirt and then they'll screen print it in front of
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so usually every year I do all of that art, and so this year I've done so many for them to be doing. So you'll see all that too, and then there's like daily exclusive shirts that are just going to be
Yeah,
made that day.
yeah, in the
I
show
just
store.
Yep, in the show store. So there's a bunch of those as well. There's a Gamorrean Guard sumo wrestler shirt I did. Um, I think they just shared the X-wing one in front of the,
Yeah.
and I did that one as well. So
Oh,
there's a whole mess of them. But I'm
yeah,
mostly proud of the Bad Batch, the Rogue One, the samurai helmets came out really rad.
yeah.
Um, and then the Revenge of the Sith kind of bubblegum art one. But
That's
yeah,
his
it's
shirt,
been
the
fun.
Revenge of
Yeah.
the Sith?
Yeah,
Oh
it's a
my
shirt too.
god. I
Yeah.
would see, so
I really
now
We're about a week out. I'm surprised they haven't shared more merch
I
because there's so much merchandise.
I
So it's like
know.
they've only shared like 4 t-shirts. I'm like, what are we doing? Can we get it all out, please?
Yeah, because I already know the show store is gonna be loaded with merch,
Mhm.
going to so many. There's tons of shirts, the print shirts that you said, and then exclusives.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really surprised. It's weird, and even, like, a lot of the brands that are there, like Lego, Funko,
Yeah, they haven't shown their
Hasbro,
stuff either.
Topps has a booth there. Like, Topps, like, what's going on? Like, what are
Yeah.
I need to know how much I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
spend. I gotta plan this. So, yeah, this one's a little weird with the timing on a lot of the announcements. Because yeah, it's literally in less than 2 weeks from right now.
Yeah, man.
And yeah,
People
but
are already heading to Tokyo for celebration at this point.
dude, so many of my friends have gotten there yesterday, 2 days ago.
Oh my
One is
gosh.
on an airplane right now, and I just keep seeing their stories and all this cool, and I'm like, "Oh my, I can't." Thursday, please, I should have flew out earlier.
Right, right. I feel the
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah, it's so exciting, but it's gonna be a fun trip for everybody. The cool thing is, there's a ton of people that are going that it's their first celebration. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
gonna
amazing.
make it, yeah, that's gonna make it extra special. Their first celebration in Japan of all
Yeah,
places.
it's
They're
really
gonna
cool.
they're gonna be hooked for life after seeing like how the vibe is. Because everyone at celebration, it's not like the internet where everybody's just grumpy all the
Oh my
time.
god, get it out of
In
my face.
I know. In celebration, everybody is happy and
Yeah,
everyone likes different stuff. They like what they like, but
right.
they're just happy, good vibes, and they're nice to each other. I've never been anywhere like that.
I know. There's enough Star Wars out there for you to find the Star Wars that you love and not bitch about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing. It's just like I'm a prequel guy. I'm not a sequel person. I'm not going to complain about it. It's just not for me. It's not my trilogy.
Yep.
So it's like it exists for someone. My kids love the sequel trilogy. So it's like everyone has their own thing
Yep.
and just kind of focus on it and stop complaining about stuff. I don't know. It just it gets old, but when you get to celebration, it's like everyone loves something.
Yeah.
And it's you just feel it. You really feel it it's electric,
Yeah.
especially when there's like I mean in Chicago when they were showing the Rise of Skywalker trailer. I
Dude,
mean,
were you in the
I get
panel
the
or on the
chills.
floor?
I was on the show floor because I was on my art booth. But just the stage was right behind us. They start running the trailer and everything freezes. The whole show
Yes.
floor is quiet. We're cheering and screaming. I mean, this is I mean, this is why we're there to cheer. And like even at 2017 when they showed the
Yep.
last Jedi,
Everything stopped.
everything stopped. I was standing on my chair, like standing over my booth to watch the trailer on this. I mean, it's just electric. I mean, I've done San Diego a couple times. I've done New York. It's like they're huge, massive shows, but there's nothing like this, especially
Yeah.
if you love Star Wars.
Do you do MegaCon?
I used to, and then I've fallen out of love with these big conventions. I
Okay.
don't enjoy the amount of work it takes.
Yeah, yeah.
And to kind of it's just luckily enough I have a lot of work on my plate, busy enough that um I don't have to do all these shows anymore, which
Gotcha.
is the
Okay.
reason I did shows in the first place, to get my name out there, to be able to do work and
Yeah.
get to do things. So I haven't done Mega in a few years. I think since they kind of changed companies, I haven't
Mhm.
done it in a minute. But yeah, I don't do Mega.
Gotcha. I was gonna say that's right there, and that's the
I know it's
biggest.
in my backyard. I get asked, "Are you being Mega this year?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"In a few years, I'm not ready to go back. I'm
'Cause
not
what
ready."
'Cause when you said you live in Orlando, I'm like, "Wait, does he do MegaCon? I don't remember ever seeing or hearing him at MegaCon."
No, I don't know if I just don't enjoy them.
Yeah.
But I love Star Wars Celebration. I mean,
Oh,
it's
it's
a
yeah,
whole different beast.
it's there, yeah, for sure. So, that's pretty much everything I had. Do you have anything coming up next that you wanna shout out?
Um, no, I don't. Not nothing that I can shout out. I'm working on some stuff with Mondo right now that I'm really proud of. Um, for me, it's a huge release. In the things that I love in pop culture, so I'm getting to work on a property that I love dearly. So I got something
Nice.
coming out with them with that, and I've done a bunch of packaging design with them that I've loved. So I got some stuff with Mondo in the works. But other than that, no, not really. I got some Star Wars stuff with Acme coming out. There are some stuff with Tops coming out. I don't know when or what set it was, but or I can't remember. At least that's how my brain is working at this point. But yeah, there's some stuff in the future. So I'm excited for what's coming up.
Nice. So for you guys watching, go check Danny out. I'm gonna put the link to his Instagram down in the description. But Danny, this was a blast, man. Thank you
Yeah,
so much
man.
for coming on.
You're welcome.
And that's gonna be it for this episode of Sith Talk, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
See ya.